send them to and the different options with the postcards. So we're going to get into all that and why we would use postcards. How would we use these in our business? So first, I'm going to say thanks for joining on Google Meet, but we've got a couple of agents here in the office as well. So if they ask questions, I'll try to repeat them so you guys can hear what they're saying. And I will try my very best to monitor the chat. I'm not very good at that when I'm teaching to look at the chat. So raise your hand or something, or yell at me if you have a burning question. But I am going to let Cam come and say hello to everybody. We've got Cam up here with Motivation Mortgage. So he's just going to say hey to everybody so you can see his cute face and what he's got going on today, or what Motivation Mortgage has going on.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? I was hoping to see some more faces in the office, but all good. We're going to see them on this beautiful screen here. Just coming in, really excited to be learning about the postcards. Obviously, it is huge for the business, staying in front of clients, trying to get new clients, so on and so forth. Today, on my docket, it is our Tuesday. So typically we just do check-ins with all of our pipeline calls, calling listing agents, buying agents, clients, title, keeping everyone updated, and then back to prospecting for me. But very excited to take some time out of my day and just learn a little bit and capitalize on this training for even myself.
Cool.
So
okay.
It's going to be great.
We can get you in there and that tool if you'd like to use it.
And then one more thing, we have our Motivation Monthly. I'm going to get the date out next month. I think it's just going to be more of a party type thing. Everyone needs to relax a little bit before, that fall kicks in. So once we get those details out, hopefully we can see all of you guys there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I did see Mandy mention something in her last email about this activity, or it's like soiree or something you guys are having. I think it's near the end of August, maybe.
It's going to be near the end of August. Yeah, unfortunately, I will be out of town that weekend, but I hope you guys can all still be there in my absence. And usually that we like to do informational ones every for maybe 2-3 months, and then we have more of a relaxing one, right? Everyone's got to unwind a little bit. We're all a little stressed in this industry, but we get after it and keep moving on.
And we'll make sure everybody knows about that as
Cool.
well. We will be advertising that for you guys. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna share my screen with you. One moment. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Sure.
Yes? Okay, cool. So just want to briefly talk about, why we would use postcards and how I use them in my business and how I've heard of other agents using postcards. And then we're going to get into the tool that we have that makes it pretty easy to work with the postcards. What's a reason we would use postcards? Well, it's an actual tangible item that you are putting in the hands of people that you want to advertise to, whether it be, if you're working on listings, or if you're looking on finding buyers, you're actually putting something in someone's hands. And that does stand out a little bit from, the constant emails and ads that we're constantly being bombarded with. I still enjoy, I don't know if anybody else does, going to my mailbox and getting the mail out. I'm always excited to see what's in there. I don't know if other people feel that way, but I like getting things in the mail, and I think this is a nice way to just put it in somebody's hands. And I very rarely don't look at things before I toss them. I definitely at least see what it has to say before I throw it away. So that's me with the postcards, and they can leave more of a lasting impression, especially if you start to basically create a follow-up postcard farming type situation where you have this set it and forget it kind of, I'm going to do these postcards every quarter, and people in the neighborhood will start to remember that you keep following up with these postcards. Postcards definitely help make you top of mind in a neighborhood. Again, with the repeat ability of the postcard marketing, people are going to start to recognize you as a brand in that area. So postcards are really good for that because they can put a face with the name and then the business that you're doing in that area. Postcards are nice because you can be very hyper local with the postcards. I mean, You can choose to only mail postcards to 10 people, 100 people, 300 people. You can get very specific about who you're sending them to, and we're going to look at that when we get to the part of actually sending the postcard. You can be really specific. It's a good way to brag about yourself. You know, if you've had success in a neighborhood or in an area or in a zip code with particular listings or solds or working with buyers in that area, it's a good way to tell people about that, to look like a professional in that area and brag about your success. And then, like I said, if you can consistently kind of follow up with a campaign with the postcards, it does help you stay top of mind. People are going to think of you. Oh, I already had this slide, didn't I? Maybe not. It seemed like I already said that. But another great thing about postcards is that you can really tailor the information that's going to be imparted with that postcard. And again, I'm going to show you the functionality and the flexibility of putting together this design, and you can focus it on what you really want to say to people. And again, like, we kind of want to cover a lot of bases with our marketing. We want, you know, to be aware of the social media, digital marketing, advertising. You can do open houses, you can do emails, but it's a combination of all these things that are going to kind of build your brand and make people get this information from all different areas. And so postcards is one component of marketing yourself. Does anybody have any questions about kind of why we would use postcards, or you just want to get into creating the postcard? That's what we're going to do next. Everybody good? Okay. One moment while I switch us over. Okay, is everybody seeing my screen here now, the Creative Design Studio? Good? You guys see it? Okay. Okay, let me get how to get back to that. Sorry, I have to get out of here. Okay. Perfect. Okay, for those of you that have used Creative Design Studio, you know that it is a good place to come for lots of different ways to market yourself, your listings, your successes in real estate. We've got all sorts of print options in here. So technically today what we're doing is a printable item because we're going to be sending it to a printer to be printed. But you've also got a lot of digital templates in here as well that you can use for promotion on social media or creating advertising. Maybe you're doing maybe you're marketing yourself at a local business and they're allowing you to do some advertising with them. I mean, you could even create things in here for that. Lots of options. If you can make your business cards in here, you can do door hangers. And as you can see, when you first enter your Creative Design Studio, you're seeing all of the things that you've previously created in there. So these are all the projects, different examples of projects that I've been working on in here. Hopefully, as you guys have been working with this, you've been building up quite a list of items here that you can reuse, you can customize each time. I've just obviously got a lot, and hopefully you guys are building up your projects here as well. As with all the tools, I do want to remind you to always kind of check your profile up there in the corner. Just double check. Hi. And make sure that your account and all of your information in there is the way you want it to appear. So I'm just looking at my profile right here, just double checking, making sure all my information here is correct. This is mostly going to pull from your zone profile. So whatever you've got in zone is going to come over here to your creative design profile. So just double check this every time you start using a tool. Just make sure everything's up to date. Okay. I'm going to get out of there. Okay. Now, I will say in the last few months, Realty ONE, the developers, whoever's in charge of this tool has been doing some changes to the way that all of these templates appear over here on the left-hand side. So I have in the last couple of months just had to do a little bit more digging over here on the left-hand side to find the templates that I'm looking for. They're kind of rearranging things for some reason. And you guys are also probably going to see some sections over here on the left that maybe you don't have in your creative design studio, because I have a different level of access to some of these assets. So you might not have all of these assets in yours, but trust me, you have everything you need for your personal business. Some of this stuff is just more on a corporate ownership level, but you can also favorite templates in here. So, you know, I definitely have a few templates. I use a lot of the blank templates a lot, so I've actually favorited a lot of those. And then I've favorited some postcards for us today that we're going to look at. But if you guys are trying to find the postcards, if you're wanting to do this along with me, what you're going to want to do is scroll down to property marketing on the left-hand side. And you're going to find a lot of options here for marketing properties, but the one we're going to look at today is postcards. So it's going to pop up all my options for postcards here. So there's a lot. Property marketing postcards. Yep. And they come in all different sizes. So we've got, you know, a jumbo section, which would be your 11 by 8 by 5 postcard. So that's big. That's like a whole sheet of paper if you think about like a copy paper.
Size you use?
Well, it depends on, you know, what your budget is for that endeavor. It depends on how many people you're sending it to. The big ones do make an impact. I mean, it's a whole. Oh, well, normally in my mailbox, I don't find the big ones. I normally find the like, what would be another, like the medium, 8 by 5, sometimes small. I don't get a lot of the jumbo ones in my mailbox, but recently I did send out a postcard and I did choose the jumbo one.
What is the news?
Medium?
I just I'm not familiar with size.
Like, yeah, it says it right here, 8.5 by 5.5 inches. So what is that, like this big? That's like the medium, this big. But then you truly do get small little like postcard ones too. I don't think those make as much of an impact, and those easily can get kind of stuck in with your other mail and everything like that. So the jumbo ones, and I know Logan likes to do the jumbo ones too, like you can't get away from it. It's a huge sheet in your mailbox. So today I am going to create a just sold postcard for a home that I did actually just sell in a neighborhood in Concord. So that's the example that I'm going to use today. But again, you have so many different options here with the postcards. I mean, just listed, just sold, coming soon. If you want to do a market report for a neighborhood, there's options for that as well. So it's really kind of whatever your goal is for that postcard, there's going to be an option. And again, even if there's not one that says specifically what you want it to say, these are all customizable. The text is all customizable. If it says coming soon and you want it to say just listed, you can just change the text to what you would like this postcard to accomplish. So today I think, where's the one that I wanted to pick? I was going to go into large, which is kind of like a rectangle. So it's 11 by 5. So that's going to be like that's a pretty good size. And I'm going to select a just sold one. Now you can see here with the descriptions, it says co-branded on some of them. So that's going to automatically populate a second agent section. So that would be if you were co-listing something with somebody, or you wanted a teammate or somebody else listed on that postcard, you would choose the co-branded option. But if you just want a single agent option, you just need to make sure you choose one that does not say co-branded. And even if you do, you can remove that. So let's see. Just listed. Coming soon. Trying to find the just sold one. Yes, this one. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one. It says sold postcard 11 by 5. This is not co-branded. I like the big picture there on the front. Let's see what the back. So the back is going to give me an option to say something here on the back. And obviously this section over here is going to be for the address. So that part does have to remain blank. Hi, Alan. Alan just got here. Welcome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create this design. Okay, so as you know, Creative Design Studio works in conjunction with the MLS, so you can pull information directly over from the MLS into these postcards, so you're not having to like download photos and upload them in here yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go straight to that MLS listing. You guys can't see that I'm doing that right now, but I'm copying over the MLS number. Okay, and then I see the one that I'm referring to here. I'm going to click on it. It's going to go ahead and pull in what I had in the MLS. And sometimes when it says headline, I don't really know which headline it's referring to. So I just leave that blank until I get into the actual postcard. It's going to pull over the actual description from the MLS. But what I'm trying to do with this postcard, the reason I want to send this postcard is because this is a neighborhood in Concord. It's a Mattamy Homes neighborhood. The houses in there are about 5 years old. There's about 4 or 5 active listings in the neighborhood right now that have been kind of sitting on the market, probably because they're overpriced. There's some bad marketing going on with some of those listings. But this property that I listed sold in 1 day. So the reason I want to send this postcard is to communicate to the neighborhood that, hey, with the right agent, with the right marketing, you can still sell your house. You just need to find the right fit for the agent. And they know how to market the property and price it and everything like that. So that's the reason why I want to send this postcard, because there's something unique about the situation. We've got houses sitting and just aren't being priced correctly, and those sellers are not getting to accomplish their goals. So I want to let the neighborhood know about that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the AI tool that we have to kind of rewrite this section here, because I don't really want to talk about how great the house is. It's already sold. I want the focus of this postcard to be more like specific to why you would hire me as an agent to sell your home. So we have a lot of these, kind of plugins with the AI tools on all of our other tools, like OneSuite, Creative Design Studio, of course. So I like to use that. I'm getting more used to using AI. I'm kind of like old school. It kind of like ChatGPT isn't like the first thing I think of when I go to create something. But I am trying to embrace it and get more used to it. And I never like it exactly the way it writes it, so I always change it. But I'm going to just give them an example here of what I want them to come up with. So, for example, a paragraph starting my luxury villa by the beach. So I'm going to say, write a paragraph about priced and marketed the home effectively. Let's just see what old AI comes up with. Okay. I'm probably going to have to change it, of course. Okay, so it said this stunning property sold within 1 day thanks to the listing agent's effective pricing and marketing strategy. Understanding market trends, the agent priced the home competitively, attracting a lot of interest from potential buyers. High quality photos and engaging descriptions in the listing caught buyers' attention immediately. The strategic pricing and strong marketing campaign led to a quick and successful sale of this beautiful home. And of course, I can go in there and make it like a little bit more specific about the actual address of the property. I might change, like, if this is kind of not I'd say, in the right tone, but I'm going to change some of that around once I get into the postcard. So I'm just going to apply this. Okay, I'm going to check everything else down here. Bedrooms, price. I'm going to put my phone number here because we all know we don't use an agent office number. Okay, and there's only one photo to select because this postcard only allows for one photo. I have to make sure I tell it that I'm allowed to use that photo. And then I'm going to just create card. This part always kind of takes a little bit. Okay. So this is going to look a little bit different than a lot of the, oh, hey, Matt, how are you? Looks a little bit different than a lot of the other, print items in Creative Design Studio because this is very specific to being printed on a postcard. So it's got all those crop lines and bleed lines, and it's a little like confusing when you look at it in here. But when it does come over to the print section, when I'm going to go to print with Express Docs, it's all going to make sense. And those are not going to appear on your actual postcard. Those are for the printing company that's going to be printing the postcard. And to make sure not to put anything in an area where you can't put wording, like for the postal address and everything. So I am going to zoom in a little bit here and get a closer look. Okay, so I've got just sold. I've got my address. This was the listing price and the sales price of the property. So it did sell for the full asking price. Okay, so here I've got to check this item over here. I do not want it to say a modern build in the heart of OC because that's not what this is. That's the headline that must have come in from the template. So I'm going to change this headline to say, your home could be next with the right agent. I'm going to have to change that. Oh, and I spelled here wrong. Just going to have to change the sizing here a little bit. Okay. Because again, the focus of the reason I'm doing this postcard is not to advertise the property, but to advertise myself. Up here, you'll have to check your information. Again, they put an office number in there. We don't really need that. So we're just going to highlight and delete that part there. And we're going to move this part over. There we go. Perfect. Okay, you've got your office address over here. That's going to automatically populate. Okay, again, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so I can change the wording in here. The stunning property sold within 1 day thanks to thanks to how do I want to say this? Thanks to working with an agent with an effective pricing and marketing strategy, understanding market trends. Allison, I'm just going to change it to my name. Price the home competitively, attracting a lot of interest from potential buyers. High quality photos and engaging descriptions. Strategic pricing and strong marketing campaign led to a quick and successful sale of this home. I'm just going to add your home could be next. Contact Allison for a market proposal today.
Hey,
Yeah.
So once you're in this step,
Mm-hmm.
is there a way to activate the AI Or do you have to go like back
Um,
to kind of use it again?
that's a good question. I think, yes, you can. So highlight that section there and then see the little AI tool came up here. So I can write with AI again.
Cool.
Yeah, so you can do it within the card or prior to.
Can I make a couple quick suggestions
Sure.
for everyone?
Yes.
In case you weren't aware, so the more you prompt it,
Mm-hmm.
the more guidance you give it,
Mm-hmm.
the better off it you'll get.
Yeah.
So like, for example, with yours, you could prompt it next by saying, I really want you to stress that it's sold in one day.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Um,
I'm getting better at it, but I'm still not great
and
at it.
also, you know, you can also prompt it to like match your personality style.
Mhm.
If you say, you know, write this in more of a humor tone, or
Yeah.
friendly tone,
Right.
you know, all those things, you know, kind of
Right.
play into it.
I know. I
The
know.
more you prompt it, the better it'll
The
get
skill
you.
of AI is training it and
Yeah.
teaching it. Now, I don't know if this like plugin tool learns your personality the more you use it, like a chat GPT does,
Right.
but I don't know. That's a good question. It might just be kind of generic and you have to prompt it a lot, like you said, to get the tone that you want.
Unless I was chime in, like your header on the first page, you were trying to figure out what to do. I mean, feel free to use ChatGPT to give you
Yeah.
comments on that too.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
basically just like prompt it, say, I'm creating a postcard. This is the
Mhm.
message. Give me top 3 ideas for
Mhm.
a solid headline.
Yeah, no, those are really good. Thank you. I'll know. I don't know if you guys could hear what Jonathan was saying, but he was basically saying, don't be afraid to use those tools to help you with all the components of what you're designing, like the heading, the block of text I have here, or you can even, you can even explain to like a chat GPT what would be a good theme for this postcard, and it'll help you come up with some different ideas. I just wanted to send this postcard because it was a unique situation to me in the neighborhood, and I wanted to point that out to all these other sellers that are just like sitting there with their houses on the market.
And just to piggyback off of that,
Yeah.
even prompt it, be like, hey, act as a person in that neighborhood. How would you respond if you were to receive a postcard? Is there anything that would be missing? You know, I've even done that as well, you know, and just kind of have a little conversation and try.
Yeah. Like what content could I put in the postcard that would catch a homeowner's attention in the neighborhood? Something like that. Yeah. Okay. We've got some people here that are better at it than I am, but I'm trying to learn. I need to take a class on prompting and all that kind of stuff. Sorry, guys. My phone is connected to my computer. Okay, so let's just take one more look at this for the sake of moving forward to the creation of the postcard process here. I do kind of want to get to the next part, but I think all the information's correct. And of course, we could play with that, you know, text if we wanted to. But I like the way this looks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it. I'm going to put Berkhamsted just sold card so I can remember this when I want to come back and do another postcard. If I liked this template, I'm going to save that. It's going to tell me all these things, like I have small font. It always gives you all these kind of warnings, but I just move forward. Okay, now we are going to take ourselves into the printing process for this card. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on Print with Express Docs. And I might have to share this page with you guys instead. Present something else. Here we go. Okay, so now it's taking me to another platform called Express Docs, which I'm sure some of you have worked with them before to create printable materials, and they make all sorts of stuff, business cards, folders, flyers, listing presentations. Yeah, so, okay, now you can see all that stuff that was confusing isn't really as bad in this view of the postcard. It is still saying that this is a proof. It's letting you look at, you know, both sides of the card. I mean, You know, hindsight, I could have probably made this text bigger if I wanted to, but you guys can get the gist of that. I could have made that text a little bit larger. And I could, of course, go back, and if I want to go back and edit it, I could. I just would have to change Windows and come back into Express Docs. Okay, so now over here, it's giving me some choices of how I would like to mail this card. Let me move you guys over here so I can see. Okay, I usually do the standard mail. I know it's going to take a little bit longer to get there. I don't really feel like this is a super time sensitive thing, so I'm okay with it taking just a few days longer. It doesn't ever take 15 days, but I guess they have to give you that option. Do we want to add any coatings to our card? Apparently this gloss coating is free, but you could add some fancy coatings there if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it. So I've got this all set up, I think, the way I want. I could also get these postcards, like if you just wanted to make a card for something and pass it out somewhere or mail it yourself, you can get the cards shipped just directly to you. But I'm going to do the mail option. So now I'm going to go down here to distribution options. It always says this, severe weather events impacting the processing. It's okay. Moving forward. Gotta move you guys again. Okay. So I'm back still on the standard mail. So in this next section here, so what you can do with this Express Docs is you can create and maintain certain address lists. So if you are constantly mailing something to the same group of addresses, you can create that list in here and save that list and use it at a future point in time. So you can see here, for example, I mailed a postcard to a current listing that I have in Crestwind at Wesley Chapel, which is a 55 plus community. I did a big postcard to that community a few weeks ago because I just wanted the other I figure that listing might be sold by somebody that already lives in the community, bringing in like a friend or a in-law or something like that. So I wanted to highlight that listing for everybody that lived in the community. So I did already create that list. It had 236 addresses. And now I could use that list again if I wanted to for this card. If I was going to do a campaign in that community, I would just select this list and do another mailer. But today we're going to create a new list for this community that we're going to mail to. So I'm going to go to create address lists. Okay, so it gives me some choices here. So like, how do I want to develop this list? Do I want to put a list in there that I've already got someplace else, upload it? No, I don't have the list. I can't upload it. I could choose a spot on a map and I could do like a radius around that spot for this postcard. I can select demographics in an area that I want to send this postcard to. I can select a specific neighborhood. I can select specific streets, or I can choose to send this card to just newer homeowners. So this is all connected to like tax records. It knows when properties have turned over, and you can literally just select recently sold properties if you want to. So you have a lot of options here. Because today my goal is to send this to a neighborhood, I'm going to select neighborhood search. Okay. So this isn't the one I was thinking I wanted. But that is the best option. Or I could do, you can also actually draw on the map. I think this is the one that I choose. So I put in the property address. Yes, that's what I do. And then I create the neighborhood that way, 2732 Berkhamsted. 2732. What is their zip code? 28027. 7. Okay, and then it's asking me Enter the number of addresses you want included in the list. Okay. I think I still get a chance to refine this list on the next page. And it's asking me, do I want to mail this? So, you could be in an area that has a combination of like townhouses and single family. Maybe you don't want to mail it to the townhouses. Maybe you just want to do the single family. So you can choose only single family. You can exclude the target address from the search. So like if you don't want this card to go to the people that just moved there, you could exclude them. I'm going to keep them. Okay, now it's giving me a list of the streets that it's pulled into this what I selected. But this isn't the way where I can change the map. There's a way that I can manipulate this map, and I must have just selected the wrong one, but this is not letting me manipulate the map. This is the neighborhood that I'm talking about, but it is pulling in some other stuff that I don't really want there. I'm going to go back again. Sorry, guys. I thought neighborhood makes sense, but it's not giving me the selection of an
And I think it said edit target area in that last screen. Up at the top.
Yeah, but I don't think that it would have let me. It would have just been to change the zip code. We could do it this way. We could just add streets from around there, 2732. We'll just try all the different ways and see which one's the best. Work. Anybody remember the 28027? Let's do single. But this is just going to be that one street. That's not exactly what I want.
I think you had it, Allison, but you just would delete the streets that you didn't want on the radius.
Yeah, I could do that. But I swear to goodness, there's a way to like on MLS, how we draw maps around certain sections. I physically remember doing that before, and I'm not seeing that option anymore. But anyway, we'll just do it the way they want us to do it. Create address list. But I don't want the streets. I want the one I had before. Oh, here we go. Okay, we'll go back to radius. It seems like the best option, but somebody had a really fun ringer in here. I think it's circle. Yeah. Okay, and that was, I cannot remember this, 28027. Let's try it again. Maybe I'll do a little bit less this time just to tighten that circle. Single family. Okay, let's see what it says now. That's a lot better. And that is definitely just the neighborhood that I'm talking about. And it tells you how many addresses are on each street, so total streets. If I edit this, Rachel, it's just going to let me like pick a new address and pick a new quantity or something. I don't think it's going to let me manipulate this map. I swear there's a way to do that. So I've got to do some more checking back. But this is essentially the neighborhood. I've got a few extra ones out here. Can I click on them and remove them? No, I can't.
You just circle.
Yeah, because that's not in the neighborhood. But I guess I wouldn't mind if it went a few more places. That's okay, but I could remove that street. This is another, yeah, I could remove Jim Johnston Road. There's only one that's fallen into the category there. So that's pretty good. And now I'm down to 164 addresses. Okay. Oh, you can click on these and like, no, you can't. All right, well, I got my neighborhood. It's called Castlestone is this neighborhood. Okay, now it's gonna build me a list. This is so tiny. I want to use the resident's name for the list. I agree. Okay, then it's gonna create my list. Okay, so now I have, now I have that. See, when I did Crestwind at Wesley Chapel, I did a different way. I did the little road, which I think was the neighborhood builder. I'll have to play with that again. Okay, so now I'm going to proceed to the checkout. So it's going to mail it to 164 addresses that you guys saw on that map. And my total for this is $191. And I am paying, if you see here, I am paying for that list that it created me, the 164 addresses. So I do have to pay for that, but I only have to pay for that one time. So once I've created the list, I will not have to buy the list again. So now the list will be in my profile here, just like the other one that I created. So I'm going to proceed to checkout. Prices have been updated to. Okay, please go to. I didn't really understand that. Oh, I think this is something else I had in my cart. Sorry, y'all. My cart keeps moving on. Okay, and so here's where you would obviously put your credit card information. I'm sorry we don't have a promo code for you guys, but if anybody figures out how to get one, please let me know. And you would just check out. And that's literally all you would do. This company is then going to mail the postcards out. If you selected standard mail, it's going to take, you know, like a week or so for the cards to go out. And they do also mail a copy of the card to your address on file. So I got the postcard at my house, which said to me, okay, my postcard is out now, which is nice. And so we would just check out here. So that's basically the process. Sorry, I got a little messed up with the getting of the neighborhood. We got it figured out, but I know there's a better, more precise way to enclose the neighborhood. And if you're trying to send it to just like, not even a neighborhood, just a specific, like, I don't know, one road or something, you can get pretty precise with it, I think, in that neighborhood search option. But Jonathan's got an idea.
So I went to my account, because I was assuming that's where my mailing address would be.
Mhm.
Copy would be mailed to me, but I didn't see that. So how would I make sure?
Well, if you're here and you went into the One Design account, I think it's the billing address. That's a good point. I do think it is. I know I got it. Let's see what my profile says. Doesn't have my address in here either, but I did get the postcard, so they have my address somehow. Address book. No, those are my lists that I've created. Must be the billing address. You're right, Maria. But I did receive it, so. Okay, any questions from anybody in here or something confusing or any questions about postcards in general?
They could just sometimes it's the address that is in the neighbor or
It's
you
the
can
tax
forward to
records.
another-
It comes from the tax records. The address that goes on the card, yeah, they're pulling it from just tax records. So sometimes it might not be like the owner might live someplace else. So that postcard might go to wherever that owner's record address is. So like if I owned a rental property in there, but I live down here in South Charlotte, the postcard would come to me. It's whoever's the owner of record. That's who the postcard
How
goes to.
many times do you think that it's good to make this in the same target monthly or?
Not
two-time?
monthly would be pretty aggressive and pretty expensive. You'd have to, have the budget to do that. It depends on the size of the neighborhood, how many postcards you're sending out. I mean, I would say quarterly would be a good idea if you're trying to farm a neighborhood. But like I said at the beginning, you don't want it to just be postcards. You also want it to be hosting open houses in the neighborhood and neighborhood events at the park or the community center, like a combination of all these things if you're trying to farm a neighborhood. I Hmm? Yeah, you could print these out and put them, by people's doors if you wanted to. If you wanted to walk the neighborhood, you have to be careful, but yes, you could do that as well. You just don't want to just do postcards and not do anything else. You kind of have to have a multi-step plan if you're going to farm a neighborhood successfully.
Yeah.
People have to see you in person, not just in print.
Problem with dropping at doors is no one goes in there.
Alan, yeah, Alan's saying if you put it in their like front door jam, a lot of people don't even open their front door. Or they could what, Rodrigo?
It will kill you.
Kill you. Okay, well, that's why I said be careful. Don't do that in a neighborhood where you feel like that's going to happen. But I hope that you guys at least got a little bit more comfortable with the process of like creating it in the creative design studio and then loading it up into the Express Docs. And if you had never done it before, you can kind of get an idea of the cost. So mine was about $195, or I think it was almost $200 when it was all said and done with the tax and stuff. But maybe this is something you could work into your marketing budget coming up. I know Jessica, is Jessica still on this call? Do you do any postcards in your neighborhood? Because I know you
Yeah, I
farm
still
your
do
neighbor-
them. Yeah.
You do? Do you do them just when something like happens, like you sell a property or you're listing a property, or do you have like a?
I've done a market report for the neighborhood, and then when I just had my closing, I sent one. It actually should be arriving today, so it took a little longer than I expected on this one, but
Okay. Did you use this creative design studio and all that?
yes.
Okay. Cool. So Jessica already knows how to do it, but she still came today. Thanks, Jessica.
Yeah. Hey, you never know when you can learn something new.
Yeah.
Is there like a template for like tips and tricks for like, spring, upkeep of your house, fall leaf up of your house, another way to stay in front of them without.
That is a good question. Cam is asking me if there's like other kinds of templates that maybe aren't specific to like solds and listed and coming soons, like seasonal types of cards. Let me go back in and see if there's anything like that. There's a ton. Let me change what I'm presenting.
It's just another way to stay in front of people.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, let me share here. Share this. Let me go back to the postcards. Let's see. They looked like they were all, I know there was ones about market, but essentially what you could do is you could choose the like design look that you like the most, and you could maybe you could use AI to tell it like, hey, can you create a bulleted list of like spring house like tips, and then you could just upload that into the card and kind of change the card, because you can make these whatever you want as long as you're comfortable kind of moving things around. So if there isn't the specific card that you want, it's pretty easy to make a card say what you want, if that makes any sense. I don't think there is like those kind of more generic ones. I mean, if I look at all of them here, very focused on the selling. Here's a home values one. So, hello. Hi. I have to sign for a package. If anybody has does anybody have any other questions? And if you need any more help with this, if you're still like, this is completely not making sense to me, reach out to me if you guys need any help, or if you want some more ideas of how you can use Creative Design Studio in your business. But I'm going to let everybody get going today. Thanks for coming on, guys, and spending time. We are recording.
Allison. This was
You're
great.
welcome. We are recording this, so we'll send it out to everybody, okay? Okay, bye, everybody. Have a good day.